Picture a city of sleek trams, a sparkling lake, and a hint of mystery that makes you want to explore its hidden corners. That's Zurich, Switzerland, where efficiency meets understated charm. Another day, another place, and today, Glinda shares tales of 2 Zurich visits. A quick trip with her husband Rashid, and later, an adventure with their son Zach. Glinda's Zurich Impressions. My first night in Zurich, with my husband Rashid, felt eerily quiet after bustling Paris. The streets were clean and orderly, but unlike Paris, there weren't people lingering in cafes or strolling along the sidewalks late into the evening. We hailed a taxi, and even that felt different. Efficient, yes, but a bit pricey compared to what we were used to. Checking into our apart hotel was another experience. A quick code entry, a sterile plastic key, and no human interaction whatsoever. It was a bit impersonal at first, but also strangely convenient. The Swiss have a reputation for being reserved, and it's true. They don't go out of their way to chat with strangers, and their initial demeanor can seem a bit cold. But don't be discouraged. If you approach them politely and ask specific questions, they're happy to help. Think of exploring Zurich as a treasure hunt. The locals might not hand you a map, but they'll leave you clues if you know where to look. With only a few hours to spare, Rashid and I decided to make the most of Zurich's walkability. We strolled down the Bahnhofstrasse, a bustling shopping street, but soon turned off to explore the quieter side streets, discovering hidden cafes and independent shops that gave the city its unique charm. Eventually, we found ourselves drawn to the sparkling expanse of Lake Zurich. The waterside promenade felt like a different world. Couples strolling hand in hand, children feeding the ducks, a gentle breeze carrying the scent of fresh water. We stopped at one of the many inviting cafes, indulging in a scoop of rich Swiss ice cream while enjoying the view. Those little fountains scattered throughout the city aren't just pretty, they offer refreshingly pure water. A perfect pick-me-up as we explored. Even with limited time, I wanted to experience a bit of Zurich's history. Zurich's roots stretch back to Roman times when it was a small settlement. During the Middle Ages, it gained importance as a trade center and member of the powerful Swiss Confederacy. The Protestant Reformation in the 16th century shaped Zurich's identity, and it became known as a center of learning and religious debate. Today, Zurich is Switzerland's largest city, a global financial hub, but it still retains the charm and walkability of its historic past. Impressions of Zurich with Zach. Traveling with teenagers can be interesting. Zach, who was 15 at the time, is a quiet guy. His big passions are nature and food. Zurich didn't exactly blow him away, but even he found things to appreciate. The boat tour on Lake Zurich was definitely a highlight. The scenery was stunning, and the fresh air was a nice change of pace from the city. Now, teenagers and ancient churches don't always mix. But Zach was intrigued by the Grossmünster's Romanesque architecture. Even just the sheer age of the building impressed him. And while the Frau Münster's Chagall windows might not have been his style, the colors and sheer artistry sparked a bit of conversation about modern versus historical art. Here is a brief history of Grossmünster and Frau Münster. Grossmünster. Legend says this iconic church, with its twin towers, was built on the site where Charlemagne's horse knelt before the graves of Zurich's patron saints. During the 16th century, The Grossmünster was a focal point of the Protestant Reformation led by Ulrich Zwingli. Its stark Romanesque architecture reflects that period's emphasis on simplicity. For fit visitors, climbing one of the Grossmünster's towers offers stunning views of Zurich and the surrounding landscape. Fraumünster. The Fraumünster was founded in the 9th century as an abbey for aristocratic women. Its name means women's church. While its structure is ancient, the Fraumünster is most famous for its stained glass windows designed in the 1970s by famed artist Marc Chagall. Their vibrant colors and biblical themes are breathtaking. For history buffs, the Fraumünster houses a museum in its crypt, showcasing archaeological finds and artifacts from the city's past. While Zach's not one for bustling crowds or fancy shops, he has a keen eye for beautiful views. We climbed up to Lindenhof, a hilltop park overlooking the city and river. Zach seemed to enjoy the panoramic views, watching the boats along the river and pointing out the different architectural styles of the buildings. It was a peaceful escape within the city, and those bridges over the river were fascinating to him. Thankfully, Zach's picky eater tendencies don't extend to trying new cuisines. In Zurich, that meant seeking out everything from hearty Swiss dishes to maybe finding a cool little Asian street food stand. He loved getting to sample all the different flavors, and the city surprisingly had a lot of variety to offer. While that whirlwind trip with Rashid gave me a taste of Zurich's efficiency and quiet charm, it left me wanting more. Years later, when we returned with Zach, I had a chance to really dig deeper and discover the city's many layers. With more time, we weren't just ticking off sights, but slowing down and appreciating the details. From the stunning views at Lindenhof to seeking out those hidden cafes where locals lingered over coffee, Zurich felt more welcoming, more vibrant. Of course, traveling with a teenager brought its own challenges and rewards, but that added another dimension to our Zurich adventure. Tips for your trip. It's pricey, so be prepared. They aren't wrong about Switzerland being expensive, but with planning, you don't have to break the bank. Picnic lunches, smart use of public transport are just a few of them. Do your research. Zurich rewards those who know what they want to see. For nature lovers, there are plenty of parks and lakefront walks. Foodies can dive into the local culinary scene beyond just chocolate. Seek the hidden Zurich. Sure, the main tourist attractions have their appeal, but don't miss the charming side streets, quirky shops, and local cafes. That's where you'll find the true spirit of Zurich. Zurich might not be as flashy as some European cities, but that's part of its appeal. For stunning scenery, a dash of whimsy, and yes, excellent chocolate, it's worth adding to your travel list. To follow Glenda's adventures, and for more Swiss travel stories, check out therookandqueen.com. Until next time, on behalf of Global Citizen Travels, this is Polly encouraging you to keep traveling smart.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together, it's so beautiful.